Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Tuesday, it's August 16th of 2022, and we have several exciting updates to talk about today, so let's get started. So first of all, yesterday I did a super quick video because yesterday Holland America did some updates to their protocols, and so did Disney Cruise Lines. I was actually on a call listening while a person talked about the updates to the Disney protocols, and so I took my notes, and clearly there was a little bit of discrepancy between what the person said and what was published later. And so I apologize for that. I took that quick video down, and I'm going to walk through with you what we're doing, as well as Holland America. I've got a little bit, some of you have been asking about river cruises, so I'll just mention that quickly, and then a couple of other updates that I think you'll find really exciting. So first of all, with Holland America, their updates to their protocols are very similar as to what Princess announced and to what Carnival Cruise Lines announced. So with Holland America, if you are on a voyage that is 15 nights or less, if you are vaccinated, you are just going to have to show proof of vaccination at embarkation, and if you are not vaccinated, you're going to have to do a COVID test within 3 days of embarkation. If you are on a sailing that is 16 nights or longer, you are going to have to go ahead and do a test, even if you're vaccinated, within 3 days of embarkation. And if you are not vaccinated, you are going to have to request an exemption. And so, and then of course, these do not apply to sailings to Canada, Greece, and Australia because of the requirements that they have. So just keep that in mind. The next thing that let's talk about Disney here really quick. Now Disney, it sounded like a huge update, but indeed in the end it really is just a little bit of a tweak. So let me walk through it with you though really quick so that we're all on the same page. I know that we've got several Let's Go family members here who like to sail on Disney, and so let's talk about that. So first of all, for fully vaccinated guests who are going to be departing from ports in the United States and Canada, you need to have, even if you're vaccinated, you need to have a negative COVID test done within 2 days before sailing. And it says that also you have to show proof of vaccination at embarkation. And it says the pre-trip test results must be uploaded into the Inspire Diagnostics Safe Passage website by midnight prior to the embarkation day. If you are a fully vaccinated guest and you upload those test results, then you don't need to do another test at embarkation. If you're fully vaccinated, and even if you do that test, but you do not upload those results into that system, you're going to have to do another test at embarkation, and the cost for that is $74 a person. And so there's that, and that applies to everyone. So it says guests who test positive are required to complete a second confirmatory test, and guests with confirmed positive test results, as well as those sharing the same stateroom or close contacts, will be denied boarding. Now, if you are not vaccinated, here are the requirements. So if you are not vaccinated, you have to show a negative COVID test taken within 3 days of embarkation. It has to be the NAAT test, a rapid PCR, or a lab-based PCR test. Rapid antigen tests are not accepted if you're not vaccinated. It says 2 tests will be required for guests who are not fully vaccinated. You'll have to do the one that is within 3 days, and then at embarkation, you're going to have to do another test, and that will be $74 per person. Then also, the same as the other, if you test positive there at embarkation or in the pre-cruise test, you're not going to be allowed to board along with people who were in your cabin, who would be staying with you you or close contacts. And I am not really sure if like you're an extended family. I would hope that if you're an extended family and you're flying in from all over the country or different places, that maybe they wouldn't make everyone miss the cruise, or, you could maybe request that you could all go another time, but it doesn't really talk about that. And then finally, for back-to-back sailings, all guests on consecutive back-to-back sailings, regardless of age and vaccination status, will be required to complete a COVID-19 test between sailings, and that will be paid for by the Disney Cruise Lines. For guests who have recently recovered from COVID, if you have tested positive within 11 and 90 days from when you sail, you can qualify to be considered as quote unquote 90-day recovered, and you have to bring with you that says just the appropriate documentation and subsequent approval. So they don't list in their new announcement what those documents are, but I would think that you would probably have to show, just like you do on the other cruise lines, the positive COVID test, and that it was taken, at a lab or it was observed by a healthcare professional. And then also if they might require that letter of recovery that we talk about, getting from your healthcare provider, simply saying that you are recovered from COVID. So I hope that kind of helps all of you. And they do require, I should say, everyone ages 12 and older to be vaccinated. And in their big release, they have not talked about exemptions, and so that was not even addressed in this big update. Now, I wanted to let you know a couple of other exciting updates, just things that are going on. So I wanted to let you know, first of all, I noticed that yesterday Don talked about river cruising, and I saw the article that he got his information from, which was really good. Great video there. But I wanted to let you know that I have been trying to keep an eye on what's going on with river cruising. As I mentioned, I want to try that, and I'm just kind of holding on actually for a minute to kind of see maybe when the drought ends or how things are going. So right now, as I have read about things, and I've talked to someone that was recently on a river cruise, they are actually it depends on which river you are on, but on several of the rivers they are having to go slower because the water level is so much lower. So even in some places it was hard to navigate even when they were not in a drought situation, and so they are having to go slower. So often you're not going to have quite as long of time in each port. Sometimes, if the water is really low, they will actually have to move you from one boat to another. If there is a concern with the locks and being able to have enough water to move the boats and everything, you actually have to move to another boat. And if they're not able to do that, I have read that some people are actually having to go on buses in some places. I think that they still do a lovely job of showing you the sights, but it is surely not quite the same as sailing on the river. So that's where we are right now. Some of the rivers, they are actually starting to dredge a little bit. And remember that, and I was really interested in this as I read so many articles about it, the rivers there in Europe carry a lot of cargo. There are a lot of ferries. There are a lot of other boats on the river, as well as river cruise boats. And so it's really important that those waterways stay open if they can at all help it. And so I just wanted to bring you up to date on that. If any of you have been on a river cruise lately, would you please let us know how it was, or if you've got one scheduled, if you're receiving any communication from those cruise lines, would you just please let us know, because that will help inform all of us. Other than that, I think that the best we can do is pray for rain. I know that's what we have been doing here because we really need water here a lot too. So that's our update for river cruising right now. And like I said, I'd love to hear from you. I would also really like to hear from anyone who was on the Emerald Princess or the Island Princess, as we have heard that there is engine trouble. I heard that yesterday on both of those ships, but I have not heard anything today. So I would really like to know what's going on, because I think that would help everyone know what to be prepared for this next week. Now, I came across a story that I think is really cool, and I'm letting you know because I think that it sounds like a cruise that I think many of you would maybe like to take. So American Queen Voyages, they are very famous. They run, a lot of cruises cruises now, but notoriously they go up and down the Mississippi River. And they have just announced that they are doing this whole other fabulous cruise that they are calling it the Grand Ohio and Mississippi River Cruise. And they are going to start on July 24th of 2023. It's going to set sail from Minneapolis on a 23-day journey to Pittsburgh, where guests will be able to explore the 1,772 miles starting off there in Minneapolis on the Mississippi and then coming down on the Ohio and going over to Pittsburgh. It says that that same itinerary will also be available in reverse, so it will leave Pittsburgh on August 14th of 2023 and go to Minneapolis. And I really enjoyed so once I saw one article about it, I looked it up a lot more, and it's from Minneapolis to Pittsburgh. They are going to pass through 10 states here in the United States. The journey begins in Red Wing, Minnesota, which is right by Minneapolis there, and it continues. It goes through La Crosse, Wisconsin, Dubuque, Iowa, Bettendorf, Iowa, Burlington, Iowa, Hannibal, Missouri. Like, that's where Tom Sawyer, notoriously written by Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, where he is from. We took the children there when they were little, and we really enjoyed seeing all that because they had I was reading the books to them, and of course there's the movies. Anyway, Hannibal, Missouri is a really fun place to visit. St. Louis, Missouri, Kimmswick, Missouri, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, sorry if I said that wrong, Paducah, Kentucky, Hendersonville, Kentucky, just lots of places along the way. And anyway, I just wanted to let you know about it so that if you want it, you can go ahead and get it booked before they are all gone. I think it's going to be incredibly popular. Right now, they have only released those 2 sailings, just the Minneapolis to Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh back to Minneapolis there to Red Wing. And so if you're interested, you might want to take a look at that. And if you don't have a travel agent and you want one, I am a travel agent and would love to help you. And if you've got a travel agent and you want to go, you should call them. So finally, I should have probably put this earlier in the video, but Seabourne has also announced that they are taking away the vaccine requirement the testing requirement for their vaccinated guests. And so for theirs is going to go into, you know what, I didn't tell you, Disney's goes into effect on September 2nd. Seabourne's goes into effect September 6th. That's the same day that Holland America's goes into effect, which incidentally is the same day that Princess's and Carnival Cruise Lines, that their new protocols go into effect. So it says, under the new simplified procedures for most cruises under 16 nights, fully vaccinated guests will no longer need to be tested, and unvaccinated passengers will only have to do a test within 3 days. The protocols do not apply for itineraries for countries where local regulations vary, and that includes Greece, Australia, and Canada. And then finally, if you are going to sail on Seabourne on a sailing that is 16 nights or longer, plus the Panama Canal full transit, transocean, and designated remote voyages, all guests are going to be required to submit a medically supervised test within 3 days of embarkation. And if you are not vaccinated, you're going to need to ask for an exemption. So I hope that all of this gives you a really good idea of where we stand today. I am really excited. I am still watching the Princess website to see when they announce some more cruises for next year, and they have not made any other announcements about their protocols so far. So I am keeping a really close eye on that. I expect a little bit more clarification to be coming any day, but I could be wrong. Maybe they won't clarify anything until September 6th. So I will keep my eye out and let you know. So as far as what to talk about in the comments below, last night in our live, I asked if people are booking a lot more cruises due to the change in protocols. And so I would like to hear from all of you if you are booking more cruises due to the change in protocols. So Carnival announced, I think it was for yesterday, their bookings were up over 50% of what they were on the same day in 2019. That is huge. So I honestly think that it is because of the protocol change. So many people want to cruise, and now they figure it's a lot less hassle. You don't have to worry about that test on most cruises. You don't have to worry worry about, if you're vaccinated, and if you're not vaccinated, you don't have to worry about that exemption. So would you please put in the comments below if you are booking more cruises now? I'd love to hear about that. I'd love to hear where you're going, where you hope to go someday. I just think it would be really fun for us to share all of that together. So I'll be keeping my eye on the comments. I actually always keep my eye on the comments, but I really appreciate you all being here. I'd love to hear from any of you who have sailed lately or are cruising right now, and you all are wonderful. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. We really do need you with us, and if you appreciate these videos, would you please give this one a thumbs up, because that really does help us out. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.